So I'm going to end tonight with a story that I've been living over these past 5 years as a bishop. One thing I really realize is I got to get outside of the office and outside of the church. And every Monday for about 4 years, my wife and I have gone to a bar. And we go at noon, and I missed it today. But if I'm home, that's where we are. And the very first time we went to this particular place, the bartender came out from the bar because we weren't sitting at the bar, we were sitting at a table, and he asked us, "Do you want another drink?" And I said, "I don't know, we're thinking about it." And he said, "Well, there are no priests around here." And he left. Now, this is what clicked in for me. If you're a clergy, you know this thought. I thought, do I want to tell? You know, it's that dilemma about, do I get on a plane with a collar or not? But I decided I would. I took out my card and I laid it on the table. And he came back and he picked up the card and he said, "Holy shit." I said, "Yeah, I get that all the time." And we just kept going back and going back. And about 8 months in, he would ask every Monday, "Where were you yesterday? Tell me about it." About 8 months in, he said, "Where are you going to be Christmas Eve?" I said, "I'll be at the cathedral." He said, "Can I come?" "Yeah, you can come." And he asked me this question, where will I sit? And I want to tell you, I just heard that question as a dumb question. That's my confession to you. I thought, that's an idiotic question. Where do you sit? "Well, you'll sit with my family. You know, we'll make sure you have a seat." I said, "Okay, I think I'm going to come." So Christmas Eve, I'm sitting there in this rocking chair that I sit in, waiting for the service to start. I get up and look, and he's not there. So I text him. I say, "Hey, where are you?" And he texts back, "I'm standing out in front of the cathedral." And he asked it again, "Where do I sit?" Then it hit me. That is a loaded question. That's the question. That's inertia. That question is laden with, is there room in there for me? You'd take somebody like me? What do you do in there? What will I do in there? Lots of questions. So I texted him back in great detail. "Walk in those big doors. There'll be people with paper. They'll give you some." "Take it. Tell them I'm with the bishop's family." And when he tells the story now, he says, "I did exactly what he said, and it was like the Red Sea parted." He said everything And they took me to the front row and they set me down with his wife. And then I came processing out on Christmas Eve, you know, mitre and cope, and everybody was being so Episcopalian and lovely and serene. And I looked up and he's just dying laughing in the front row. I mean, I walked by him, he said, "Liberace would have loved that thing." So then he came to Easter Vigil. Next Christmas Eve, he brought 2 people with him from the bar. And he makes a joke about being C and E. But the other day, I heard him talking, and he said, "I think I'm an Episcopalian now." Now, he's not. He's never been confirmed. Canonically, he's not. But he is. And in the course of that, he invited my wife and I to what had become church for him. They do a thing called sandwich night. And he had trepidation about asking me to come to that. It's an interesting mix of people. It's a cocktail party. It lasts exactly from 6 to 9. And to get in, you have to bring 25 sandwiches made for the homeless shelter for men over 55. That's your admission ticket. And I was able to hang out there for about 4 times before I was revealed. But it was just long enough to tear the inertia down. Now that is where we're supposed to be. That is church. I'm so glad we had this time together. Thank you.